Hey guys, appreciate your patience tonight. Thank you to our friends on Facebook and particularly our friends on YouTube, actually, for picking us up tonight and some technical difficulties. But anyway, just a brief broadcast here. I'm going to talk a little bit about, I know a lot of you guys, I don't know if you can see Mr. Attitude or not, but he's out of his wire tonight. You know, I mean, he's really got an attitude. So don't I. Anyway, boy, oh boy, you know, I was talking to a lot of people today about the weather, the cold weather, extreme cold weather up in Midwest, particularly around Chicago, Michigan, Illinois, and Wisconsin, and around the Great Lakes area. Man, oh man, they are getting hammered right now. This is from the National Weather Service, which I'm going to go to the National Weather Service. I'm sorry. You know, your local channels, they can leave you going, okay, should I wear shorts or what? But right now in the Twin Cities, do you guys know what the Twin Cities are? Where are you, man? Come on. Let's go. Twin Cities, Minneapolis, Minnesota. All right, St. Paul. Very cold there anyway. Right now, my gosh, it looks like it is, the temperature there is minus 16 Fahrenheit, minus 27 Celsius with the wind chill. And someone was saying, well, Ryan, where are you, guy? Yeah. The real feel, what they were doing is the real feel is, they were saying today in the upper Midwest is, you know, if you have cattle, okay, they're okay in a barn, but if you put anything out in that wind, that's the real feel is like, which I'm trying to figure out when they say, what is the real feel? The real feel is, you know, okay, I'm at a Boston Red Sox game, who are awesome, but it's so hot, okay? It's so hot. So I take out, I don't know, something to, okay? So that's kind of like a wind chill. It's cooling me down, right? So if you think about in this weather, the real feel with wind can feel like a constant, you know, you have your window open, it's bothering the hell out of you, you know, but in this weather, it's, you know, so that's your real feel. And then in New England, you can have weather that's just 0 degrees with no wind at all, just density, static, you're cold, and no one wants to move. So, yeah, anyway, very, very cold. And I feel really, in Chicago, they're experiencing minus 15, 50 below 0 with the wind. And, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, cold is cold, but extreme cold is cold. It doesn't matter what it feels like. It doesn't matter. Cold is cold. And there's a lot of homeless folks in Chicago. And that seems to be what is being most reported on in Chicago, like the epicenter, but of people being really affected in terms of homelessness. And there's probably like 6,000 people plus that are homeless living on the street. And the folks that are living in tent cities, they refuse to go to shelters. That's just what they do. I mean, if you're homeless, been living on the street, and you know what those shelters are like. Um, and I did hear some city or town up there were having mobile buses driving by to encourage people who are living on the streets in tents and um, to just come on board and warm up a little bit without being compacted in with a bunch of uh, other folk who you've learned to distrust because of homelessness when you live on the streets. The streets are the streets, which no American should be on anyway, and calling it their residence. So anyway, so yeah, really tough out there, man. Really, really tough. I'm hoping those guys and gals and whoever, the people that are homeless in this weather, they're people are walking around giving you guys some blankets, man. Don't tough it out in your tent, you know. Don't tough it out in your tent. That's why I kind of laugh at. Anybody ever see the day after tomorrow? I think it was, with that guy and the girl, and when the global, melting, and he survived in this sub-zero temperatures in a tent. I always looked at the movie. I think it came out in, I don't know, the 90s. It was all about global warming and everything. But you forget that. You don't survive in a tent. You just don't. So anyway, that was just a little bit of homegrown. And Worcester tomorrow, you guys, tomorrow, yes, it's going to be cold. And sometimes when it gets that cold, whether it's 20 below or 50 below, what's the difference? 5-10 minutes exposure, and you're gone. So you guys, all right, let's help our guys get off the streets tonight. We don't need that. We don't need that at all. Anyway, so I had a couple of items to share tonight, and it was basically on. I've been studying a lot on West Virginia. For some reason, I just get fixated on different parts of our country, and particularly around the economics. Whoa, what happened there? Just like Worcester. Whoa, what happened there? Besides, we built a mall. The origins of cities and towns, and actually in America, especially the East Coast, the eastern part of the United States, rather, not just the coast, but, different cities and towns, and really based on the prosperity of what they could bring to a developing America. And I was really watching some YouTube videos, to be honest with you. And I discovered a town called, in West Virginia, was Welch, West Virginia. And it was incorporated in 1883 and named after Isaiah A. Welch, a former captain of the Confederate States Army who came to the region as a surveyor to help establish the plan for beginning of a new town among the Tongue and Elkhorn Creek rivers, which really in the first half of the 20th century, during the opening of the railroads and coal mines throughout the region, Welch became a prosperous city. Okay, and you go to YouTube and watch now what Welch looks like. And I only bring this up as a comparison to whether you're a coal mining town or an industrial city giant, manufacturing, the old manufacturing, the decline is the same. So economic decline, mechanized. In West Virginia, Welch became a prosperous city, okay? The hub of retail business and hospitals after the production boom of World War II. Oil began to become the big thing. And coal was kind of like, yeah, it's kind of dirty, hard to mine, and maybe all the people who were the owners of coal mines jumped over to owning oil refineries. Think about that. So that kind of dipped into Welch's economy, and mechanization of coal mining reduced the number of laborers needed in coal production. So McDowell County, where Welch is located, and other towns of the like, its population peaked in 1950, began to decline over decades to follow. In 1960, however, McDowell County still ranked number one in the United States in total coal production. Okay, it was kind of like the nation's, heart of the nation's coal bin, if you will. However, this is interesting. When presidential candidate John F. Kennedy visited Welch by automobile caravan in 1960, he saw a city whose businesses were struggling due to a growing poverty rate throughout the county. So Mr. Kennedy proceeded to go through there. Welch residents, two residents, I'm not going to go on and say who they are, but Welch was actually the first town with its residents to receive food stamps under the war on poverty between Lyndon Johnson and John F. Kennedy. Okay? That's incredible. And John F. Kennedy actually said that the reason why it was the mechanization that people are poor and losing jobs, because machines were replacing. Okay, and I just want to qualify this. So what Mr. Kennedy said was that McDowell County mines more coal than ever in its history, probably more coal than any county in the United States, and yet there are more people getting surplus food packages in McDowell County than any other county in the United States. Okay? September 27th, 1960. Okay? Moving on. The reason is that machines are doing the jobs of men, and we have not been able to find jobs for those men. All right. Fast forward. Northeast, jobs go overseas, jobs go over. So whether you're in McDowell County, West Virginia, whether you're in Worcester County, Massachusetts, industrial coal jobs that people could put their hands on and make a decent living at are gone. Okay? We have 71.2% Vietnam veterans right now that live in the population of Welch, which right now, Welch used to be a prosperous city. Go online, look at movie theaters. And I looked at it and I said, wow, look at all those movie theaters. Look at that. Look at all the people on the streets. And all you folks out in Worcester, go back with 1940, Main Street, Worcester, you'll see the same thing. Coal, steel, doesn't matter. Welch, Welch, West Virginia, population 1,740, medium age range, 40 years old. Basically, the income in the city proper, town proper, 27,115. Property value about 54,000. Okay, the poverty rate 35.4%. You can go to different websites and get Data USA and I was looking at a few other websites, and you can really you get varying degrees, and depends on how they take the the surveys and who fills them out and things like that, and breaks it down by education. But I did think that the 71.2% of the population of Welch out of 1,740 are Vietnam veterans. So that's a demographic that is 65, 70 and over, as far as, the population goes. And you can go online and you can look at the education level and things like that. But I think, at the time, it's, again, you go back to the early industrialists and some of the towns that were created. I mean, they that's why they're not lasting, I think, because, well, they wouldn't be established today. We can't just in the United States say, hey, maybe we would just establish a brand new town. You can't do that. We have to reinvent the towns that are already there. And because when you level them, people go, whoa, what are you doing? But maybe, would that be the best thing? You take a drive through Welch, West Virginia, and you'll see dozens and dozens of empty streets and poverty, And I could say that right now, even though Worcester's in its renaissance, I can drive down Main Street, Northern Front Street, if you will, and yeah, I'm still seeing almost the same thing. Stores just hanging on. So anyway, what's going on with our urban cores? I want you guys to comment here because I'm going to share this over on my cities and suburbs page. I'm sorry for being late, and but I always love to talk to you guys. All right. So anyway, I'm going to see what we can do here, and I'll stay tuned. All right, and just be warm. Don't be stupid. And make sure, what? Don't leave your dog outside all night long or your cat outside all night long, Yeah. I'm just saying. All right. Anyway, be safe out there, you guys. We'll talk to you soon.